In today's layout process video for Stick It Down September double page sketch, I'm going big, literally. I'm featuring giant letters across the spread to create a bold focal title that anchors the photos and pulls the whole story together. Watch as I bring this double page layout to life using the sketch as a springboard and adding my own twist with playful designed layered details and of course oversized alphas. Let's stick it down and tell the story. I'm Kathy and it's my turn to showcase this amazing sketch. So to start off, I am using some papers here that have the soft, like a rainbow, soft pastel rainbow. And then I also have the paper that has the black and white arrow design. Now I am using these papers because I want to showcase a sunrise on my layout. Now I have cut these ones into 3 inches by 12 and I'm going to run them top and bottom of both of the pages that I have used. I'm using a pad of paper as my base from one that I will never ever use from an old pad. So they become great bases to build on. And I'm using both sheets to stretch and use across the double page, putting in that horizontal bar across the middle to create that rainbow effect in the center with the soft pastels. And using some yellow strips of cardboard that are 1/4 inch in width, I'm going to line the outside layer of my layout to match the sketch. Now, of course, in the sketch there is a big broad band around the around the edge of the layout. I'm not using that this time. I'm just going to use this yellow to represent that part because my photos are larger than what is in the sketch, and my title is actually larger in size with the actual individual letters than what's in the sketch. But that's because I really wanted to stretch it right across the double layout and fill that layout and make it a major feature. So I'm just putting down these strips and I'm building that edge across. Now there are parts where it doesn't actually meet the whole lot and I'll go off screen and tuck in pieces and fix that up. Now if I was thinking I should have cut those pieces off first before I started cutting the letters, but I didn't, and I was using the scraps out of the page where I cut my letters on the Cricut to fill in that frame. Now that I've done that, I can start mapping out my layout, and as you can see the word there, sun, and that's the early part of my total title. And these photos were taken just recently at a conference in the morning. Once a year I go to a conference for DPs, and I love waking up in the morning because it's down on the beach and we get to see the sunrise across the beach. And this day my friend, as you can see in the background against my shoulder, the cockatoo, decided that as soon as I opened up my door onto my balcony that it would join me for the sunrise. And you'll see a photo of him or her, I can't tell which one it is, very soon. So I used my Cricut, as I said, to cut out my letters. I actually use my very old Cricut, and I have just cut them twice and then just layered them to give the shadow effect that you can see there. The next part of my word is rise, of course, for sunrise, and I am tucking in my 3 extra photos. Now on the sketch they have smaller photos. You can use smaller photos, you can use larger photos. Remember, the sketch is just a jumping board for you to start off with, and I am just going to tuck these in so that my photos go in and around the title and they become a part of that process. And look at that cockatoo, wasn't he beautiful? He was just gorgeous. He very friendly, let me pat him, didn't try to bite me. Obviously, as a pet of the hotels, obviously comes regularly, and I'd say guests feed him, that's why he keeps coming back. But as soon as I opened up my door, he was there on my balcony. So it was very nice and very cute and a great way to greet the morning. And look at that sunrise. Wasn't it just beautiful across the waves with the sun shining across? It looks so magic. And I have chosen the colors in that striped paper, as you can see, that reflects that morning sky down there in the bottom right hand corner. They're just perfectly matched. It's like I had painted the sky with the colors from the paper. So I am putting this into place, and I was having a bit of tricky pieces there with my glue, so I had to fix it up. So I'm sorry there was a bit of a lag there. And then I'm just tucking in some of these. You'll see I use just the tape, and then I put a little bit of glue because I don't want it to lift in the future. And I'm putting that over the top of the photo, and it's all tucking in nicely like it belongs together, and that allows that continuity across the page, and it anchors the whole design. I then also cut out a series of suns. They were attached, that was the design, but I am actually going to separate them, and I'm just trimming up the sun rays just to use as my feature in my clusters that I'm going to put around the layout. And I really do like the color of that yellow. It really does highlight the sun, and it also highlights the yellow comb on the cockatoo. I have these die cuts from Uniquely Creative, and they are from colored vellum, and so they will be see-through, but they blend beautifully on the page, and they are in the same pastel colors, so they are a perfect choice for this layout, and I like the effect they have when they sit on the page. Now they are a sticker, which is great because I don't have to try and adhere them to the layout, and that's the best way I find with vellum when you're using it in these type of shapes, is to have them in the sticky form. If these were not already done like a sticker, I would run them through my Xyron sticker maker, because that's the best way I find to put vellum onto a page, by having that whole saturated stickiness across the back of it, and then that just doesn't leave any marks on your vellum when you're putting it into your designs on your layouts. So I'm just packing them up. Sorry that takes a bit, it's a bit fiddly. They're not as easy to pick up as you would think, and so I'm just putting those ones away, the ones I'm not going to use, and now I can build my clusters. So for each cluster I've made sure that I have 3 vellum pieces, and they are in the colors of the yellow, the green, and the blues, that just carries through the colors of the layout and ties in the photos. So I find that that's really helpful when you're creating a balanced design. I'm going to tuck them in behind the sun, just for height for the clusters and for the width. And as you can see, I'm popping up the suns here on some foam dots, and that allows it to give the dimension that I need to give some texture and rise to this layout, because it's a little bit flat, as you can see, with the vellum stickers being flat, the whole papers being flat, and the photos I actually haven't popped up on foam this time. So to add that dimension, I'm putting the foam tape in behind the sun. Now, as you see, it is a bit of a trick or a bit of an art to get the stickiness off the back of those vellum stickers, but once they're done, it works really nicely. So I'm just putting in the last of them here. I'm building this last feature down here on the S. That's to draw your eye around the layout beautifully. I do love how these vellum floral pieces are actually building up that design, and pretty much staying close to the sketch so that it balances out the whole layout. Now you too can join us at Stick It Down. I'll have all the details down below for the Facebook group, where you can go across and see the sketches every month and showcase what you have been doing, because we like it when you play with us, and we love to see what you get up to creating with the sketches. Don't forget that you can join Stick It Down in the Facebook group by answering a few simple questions, and then you too can be playing along each month with us. Now I am just using a stitched stamp here, just because I wanted to finish off that edging. Now I probably should have done it before I built up the layout. That would have made a lot more sense and probably made it a bit more even, but I don't mind that it's not exactly solid or dimensional. It just adds that little bit of grunge to it. I like how it ties it all together and just finishes off the edges between the two different types of paper, and I always feel that that's an important part to do when you're doing papers that are of different colors that blend together to create a full design. Now that I've done that, I can put in a couple of word stickers which I want to add in about and around about taking the time to stop and watch and look and be amazed at what is available to us if we just look around us in the environment. And this is one of the reasons why I love this conference, because it allows me that time to stop and just look. And I love the beach and anything around the beaches. So this is my time once a year where I get to rejuvenate and do what I like for 24 hours without anyone overnight. And that's a great way of getting my energy back ready for the rest of the school term to finish off with a bang. Because usually term 3 is a very long and very busy term. So I'm just putting in some journaling as per the layout, and I'm just going to tuck it there. I've used strip journaling on here. I've handwritten onto some of that yellow cardstock that I had as spare, and that's just allowing me to put in the story, and it just says to take time and watch and look out. And it's always good to watch a sunrise, even when you have an extra buddy that stands with you, like the cockatoo did with me that morning. So don't forget, journaling is always a great way of capturing the story, putting into words what you're feeling, what the photos are about. Now I am just going to add in some splatters here of ink. I'm using Vintage Photo from Tim Holtz the Spritz. I don't want too many splatters on there, but I just thought that it always looks good with a smattering of ink splatters on the page. So I'm covering up my photos so that I don't get ink onto my photos. And I know I've got a third splatter mat somewhere, and I'm just looking for it. And I'm just cover up that last photo there. And then, as I said, I don't want too many splatters across it, but I do want it to have a bit of a artistic feel to it, and that's allowing me to put those splatters across the page for that little bit of an extra something to finish it off. And I do like the Spritz because they do have that sparkle to it, and it makes all the difference. So that's there, and the last thing I need to do is put in some Nuvo drops, and I'm going to put it into 3 spots, 1 on this side and 2 on the other layout side. And I'm really sorry that I can't show you working side by side, because my space is quite limited that I work in, and I quite literally work on the size of that pad. That's how much I work, how big my space is that I work in. Now I have completed what I wanted on this layout. I do love how it has turned out. You can see all the details there, the splatters on there, the journaling, you can see that stitching with the stamp. And look at that, there's those Nuvo drops and those word stickers, and it just looks so complete. I love the big title. I don't know why I don't do it often enough. It just looks really good. So have a go, everybody. I want to see what you can do. Don't forget to come and share over at Stick It Down. It is a great opportunity to get creative. There are single page sketches, and I'm on the double layout team. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Lets YouTube know that you like what I'm doing. I hope I've inspired you to come along and play at Stick It Down. All details will be down in my box down below. Once again, thank you very, very much for all my subscribers who keep coming back. And if you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I really want to hit that 700 mark, and you could be the one that gets me there. Thank you, everybody, once again. Have a great week scrapping. Stay creative. Here's my next video for you, and I'll see you real soon. Don't forget all the details down below.